Cinema is dying. Are you a very good, well-respected, with a career full of great movie director? Your movies are going to tank. Do you have a once loyal fan base still paying attention to your franchise movies? Your movies are going to flop. Is your movie a sequel from a loved franchise with an alive fan base? The box office dead as a Tesla battery. So what's going on with this? Is it movie fatigue? Are movies straight up bad? Or is it just us? Or maybe is that it's an art that, like everything in life, is dying for good? These are the answers most people give when we're talking about movie flops. In this video, we'll analyze every one of these points and see what we could do to make films relevant again. I know what you're probably thinking about. Who's this guy and what he lying? There's no movie fatigue. I love movies. I go to the theaters every 3 months. That's enough. Going more than that in this economy? Nah. These damn YouTubers give the most random comment to make people interested. So yeah, you're right with that last part. But listen here, I'm Marcos, I'm new around here because in this channel you're going to find videos about topics in cinema that no one else talks about. Give me a chance to entertain you. Now let's stop yapping and let's go to the video. Think about this. If there's not a movie fatigue, why is that almost every movie flops? Because they're all bad? No, not all of them are bad. Behind all those sequels worse than your ex-wife's second wedding, ass prequels, mindless reboots, and atomically stinky trash politically correct movies, that leaves us with films that are pretty good. But there's too much movies. There's a lot of trash to take out to see the goal behind all of that, right? Here's a graphic showing how much more movies are being presented at the big screen since the pandemic, with each year growing more than the last one. In 2024 alone, there were 569 movies presented. Is it impossible to know about all of them, let alone watching them? Even directors like Martin Scorsese have talked about this, warning that cinema as an art form is being systematically devalued, sidelined, demeaned, and reduced to content. Also calling blockbuster overemphasis on box office returns as repulsive. Quentin Tarantino has also shared his opinion on this, saying that the current era of cinema is one of the worst in Hollywood history. Now let me ask you something. Let's say you don't have a movie fatigue and watch as much movies as you can. Let's say 2 movies per week. Why do you think no matter how many movies you watch every year, at the end of the day, you haven't even heard nothing about the movies that are nominated in the Oscars? But of course, you've heard about the movies produced by Disney and all its own companies. Some from Warner, some from Apple, some from Paramount and MGM, and others even from platforms like Netflix and Hulu. This has been happening since the 80s. Those movies that you love the most try to do something different and challenge the audience, like Taxi Driver, American Psycho, Shawshank Redemption, and Seven weren't approved by the media at the time, just like today films that are worth watching in the big screen, like Killers of the Flower Moon, which was a real struggle for Martin Scorsese to find a company that agrees to budget the movie. The Ugly Stepsister, which is a movie about the Cinderella from the books, was distributed by a company that doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. That makes me believe that it's a new one and not famous. Didn't make it not even to $1 million. What about Babylon? A movie with a big cast, a director with a really good background, was made with $80 million. In the box office, barely made 60. What makes them have this destiny? Just like Scorsese said, cinema as an art form is being systematically devalued, sidelined, demeaned, and reduced to content. Also calling blockbuster overemphasis on box office returns as repulsive. It's not about telling stories anymore. It's about making Wall Street people happy. See, history always repeats itself. It's not new that studio companies just want a movie that make not a pile of cash, but many piles. After the gigantic Jaws success, which was the first ever true summer blockbuster, studio companies realized, hey, why we would be millionaires if we can be multi-billionaires? So they started the trend to budget family-friendly movies like Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, Star Wars, and many hero movies. But artistic films that explore human and social psychology, and films that explored and expanded dark topics dedicated for an older audience were excluded. Those movies that try to tell a good story showing the audience something they have never seen are considered too risky, controversial, a waste of money. They all end rejected by the big corporations. So the director needs to find any studio that wants to budget and promote the movie. At the end of the day, they found a small studio willing to take the risk. Consequence, the movie is not going to be heavily promoted or showed in cinemas. That's why you haven't heard about most movies that are nominated in the Academy. That's why now, most of the time, the best movies always make studios lose money. And it didn't used to be this way. Casino, the budget was from 40 to 50 million, box office 116 million. Memento was made with 9 million, box office $51 million. Even controversial movies like Seven, which was made with $33 million and ended up making more than 300 million. So going back to the initial question, you might have movie fatigue. We're thinking every movie that's on the theaters right now is bad because we don't have enough time to search online to make sure the movie's worth watching. It's like that image from the guy digging, trying to find diamonds and gives up after finding more dirt. In highlight, most movies are ass. But I'm sure you're going to find your cup of tea even if it's one movie a month. And I hear you. But how am I going to the theaters to watch one movie a month when it's so expensive? Which takes me to my next point. I talked deep about this in my last point, but there was something I left out. Yeah, modern movies are really bad. Bad acting, awful CGI, obnoxious and unrelatable characters, dumb story that most of the time ends up exactly where it began, so there was no point to the entire movie to exist. But I've already said it, we have to search for the good ones. After all, we love cinema, so that is not going to be a struggle. What do we do if you don't have the time? Before going on, did you subscribe yet? I told you if you gave me a chance, I'd entertain you. Now let's get back to the video. What do you do if you find yourself not having enough time to search? Choose a critic. Choose an online page or a critic in a specific that has the same likes, values, and appreciation as you. It even can be here on YouTube, like me. But there has been countless times in which the critics hate a movie, but the public loves it. So not everyone that watches movies is reliable. There's a lot of people that loved Emilia Perez, but find boring movies like Hair, Nightcrawler, or somehow even 12 Angry Men. So why even listening to those people? This is how you're going to save money while also supporting your favorite actors and saving cinema. When you decide to go to the movies, you're going to be completely sure are going to enjoy. Yeah, it is also us. How are you a fan of someone or something if you don't support it? We should choose a valuable, reliable online critic with the same likes as you, so that if that person approves a movie, you know it's going to be enjoyable. And at the same time, supporting your favorite directors and actors while cinema is alive, which is what I'm going to talk about in my last point. Cinema is an art form. Why is it art? Because it can connect people's emotion by the correct use of photography, music, dance, and acting. But there's many arts that aren't what they used to be. Painting, what used to be a godlike use of colors in canvas, now is being used as money laundering, making paintings with no sense of feelings, no meaning behind it, and absurdly dull. Architecture, structures used to be built to last and be useful. Using materials like concrete, wood, water, and rocks, they could make something that lasts centuries, making people even question whether aliens did that or humans with their bare hands. Now, nothing lasts. Creativity is non-existent and everything feels cheap. Music, there have been many artists that shake the world with music so insanely good that the world had to recognize it. Now, the word legend is being overused for people that only had 3 or 4 hits in just the United States. Mumbling receives Grammys and singers try to be more political than artists. Cinema is not the exception either. There are so many good movies, not just in theaters, but also in many other streaming services. But no one talks about it, since it's been buried by sequels, prequels, reboots, and political monstrosities. In short, let's be more of a fan and try to support those artists. Those directors that have tried to be the exception and still are, let's give them the love while they're still alive. Martin Scorsese, we don't know when will be his last movie. He's 93 right now. Quentin Tarantino, he said he's making his last movie ever. So how can we save the cinema? In simple words, go to the movies and support real artists. Have a favorite critic, support good stories, support good intentions. Let's make cinema popular again. Hey, did you like this video? If you did, please share it with a friend, subscribe, and give me a thumbs up. That's more than enough for me. Thanks a lot for watching.